Welcome to Time2Game podcast. This is episode 2, Dose, the return.
The sequel?
The sequel with Super Shredder.
Oh, crap.
No, he's back.
Oh,
the sequel's always worse than the original. And then you get good at the trilogy. Why don't you get to the third one?
Yeah, but this is Terminator 2 sequel
Oh.
level. That's
Okay.
right.
Terminator
We're
2.
rolling here.
Oh, man.
Okay, alright. So,
Okay. Anywho, it's July 31st, 2013, and welcome back for episode 2. I'm Johnny B. Introduce yourselves.
Oh, you did it. You introduced us last time.
All right, well, we
Introduce us?
got CJ talking over here,
Okay, good.
and we got old Chris in his old man chair.
It's not a... It's a couch.
See, it's so funny because we call him Old Chris, but he's only like, what, 2 years older than us?
He's damn old.
God
He's
damn,
ancient.
old.
Retire.
Chris, how old are you?
It's 28.
Damn, you're old. You're like 2 years older than me.
You get your wheelchair
You
yet?
got a social security check in the mail yet?
Your walker?
Dude, you know I'm not getting social security.
Do you get close parking with your handicap
Fair,
sign?
fair.
I do because I steal them from older people.
And that's why you're going to hell.
That's what's beautiful about America.
Never mind.
Anywho, CJ, what do we got today for the
Alright, so
podcast?
For everybody.
For the topics this week, some different news coming out. One of the bigger news stories seems to be like trending. Anytime you look at PS4 news, it seems to come up. Xbox One news is the RAM capability of the two systems, and not so much like we know how much RAM is supposed to be in there. It's supposed to be 8 gigabytes of GDDR5 for PS4, and it's supposed to be 8 gigabytes of DDR3 for the Xbox One. But what's come out is, according to internal development documents that supposedly Sony has or shown off to other developers, that evidently the PS4 is only going to allow 4.5 gigabytes of the GDDR5 RAM in order to actually process the games. There's going to be 3.5 gigabytes utilized for the OS. On the flip side of that, the Xbox One is said to actually use 5 gigabytes of DDR3 and then have the 3 gigabytes for the OS. So that's like the biggest news that really came out, I feel like, recently, that a lot of people got a lot of people talking about it, because obviously the processing power is a big part of how the video game system's going to work. The OS, everything that's operating in the background, could have an effect on how well the game runs. So, John, I know you looked at the story a little bit. What are some of your main thoughts about it? What do you think this really means for the two systems?
Well, once again, we probably won't know until later down the line of this next gen when developers start using it. Right now, on paper, all these rumors, you go back and forth between Xbox One and PS4. Right now, they're saying also with the PS4, because it's DDR5, it may have the advantage over the Xbox One. And also, there's the 1 gigabyte of flexible memory.
Yeah, I'm really curious how that's actually going to work. I mean, I get, if they can utilize that 1 gigabyte of memory, which most developers probably won't be able to use right off the bat because they're getting used to this OS and they're getting used to the system in general. So that 1 gigabyte is still probably going to be utilized for the OS. If the developers start to utilize that, that will give them a bigger advantage over the Xbox One, because then you're looking at 5.5 gigs the processing power compared to the 5 gigabytes. Do you think it's really going to be a huge difference between the systems at 0.5 gigabyte? I mean, I'm not too technical with it, but I just see it as being kind of similar still. Obviously, the different processors of the DDR5 and the DDR3, they're different processors, but do you really think there's going to be a huge wide gap between the two systems with that?
I would actually just look at it on paper right now because, well, it's still a rumor. Like I said, you're going to have to look down the line, see what developers can do with all that, because apparently even with the PS3, they're still saying, they have yet to utilize everything.
Naughty Dog's pretty much been able to use as much of that system as possible, and then it seems like they keep, every time you think that they can't do more, they seem to do more with that console alone. Chris, do you think that this is really a big news story, or do you really think that it's just one of those things that we're just going to have to wait and see?
You're definitely going to have to wait and see. Just because one is saying that it's better than the other, what you're looking at here is basically, do the specs really matter at this point?
Yeah, that's fair.
I mean, you think about that. You have to look, it's not the end of the discussion when somebody says, PlayStation 4 has better RAM or faster.
0.5 gigabytes of extra RAM potentially.
Oh my god, I shit a brick. 1.5 gigawatts. So, I mean, when you're looking at stuff like that, it really is, what are we arguing about? It's really like nothing.
And that's the thing. It really comes down. I'm glad you bring that up. What are we arguing about? Because you know that every comment section of these articles that are coming out, you have the fanboys just absolutely clashing it out right now.
Right.
Talking about like this potential 1 or 0.5 gigabytes difference.
Right.
Trying to make their points up. So I mean, I think you're absolutely right. I mean, it's really what are we talking about at this point?
And when it comes to games, the game developers, they're going to want cross-platform technologies, right?
Yeah.
So what do game developers do? You know, they bring their lowest common denominator down and they set the standard so that all the systems play at the same level.
Yeah.
I mean, guys, listen, if you're going to look at RAM and say that's a better system, then please go buy a PC. Seriously, if you want to go RAM, then please.
You want all of your 8 gigabytes of RAM processing, you go buy a PC.
Go buy a PC, buy yourself a monolithic piece of hardware, and play every game on the planet without a problem.
And I think a lot of the core like I said, a lot of the core PC gamers, they're just PC because that's what they want. They want to be able to utilize everything that they put into the system.
Exactly.
They want to sit in their chairs in the command center with the giant 60-inch TV.
No, they got like 3 monitors. It's like a Batman thing, right? They got like the multiple monitors surrounding them.
That's
right.
Playing
a game.
If you don't have,
if you're
a gamer and you don't have a Batcave, I don't know what's wrong with you.
I have a living room.
You should have a living room that you have outfitted.
And there's a baby in it most of the time that kind of makes bat sounds.
That's your problem.
That is interesting.
When it comes to RAM, you're really just looking at you're basically looking at 2 of the same thing, but it really depends on how the system allocates. It's hard drive.
Big word, kids. Look that one up.
Allocation.
You really just want what you're looking for in a system. You can't really look at on paper. If you're going to buy the system, if you haven't pre-ordered the system yet, my suggestion is, like with everything else, is just to go out and try it. Go to the store when they have it hooked up and play the 2 side by side. But if you want RAM and you want faster memory and graphic speed, buy a computer.
Yeah, I mean, and I think it's a good point to kind of point out here that, the amount of gigs that you're going to be getting with either system is going to be, like 16 times what you actually have in these PS3 and the Xbox 360 processors now. Which blow my mind because I'm like, all right, PS3, Xbox, it's kind of current technology. It does a lot of cool stuff. And I'm like thinking, like, what are they going to do with, like, 4 gigabytes of processing power? That excites me. Mind. That right there excites me. What it's really going to mean. And I mean, for a lot of people, like PC gamers are talking about like this, and everybody that plays PC, they're like, well, I know what it's like. Because I've had that kind of memory set up for quite a while. I'm playing all these games already with those kind of specs. A lot of people are using 8 or 8 gigabytes of RAM, whatever the case may be. But for like me, like I've only ever been a console gamer. So for me, I'm going to look at this and be so freaking excited about what these systems can actually do for me. And
I'm pumped.
That's what's really exciting for me. For somebody like Chris, who's PC gamer, he's just going to be like, PC's better.
Well, I'm not
look at this PS4.
Oh my god.
Why do we go back to Nintendo?
I'm not going to do that.
Look at that system. It's outdated already.
Oh, we're playing Pong again?
No, I'm not going to look at it like that, dude. The console games versus the PC games, each one has its qualities, Mm-hmm. So, I mean, unless you're a PC gamer, you would understand clicking on the keyboard versus the controller. Yeah, there are games that you can use a controller for your PC, like Borderlands 2, Left 4 Dead 2, or all those crazy, those games you really love to play on your console. You could play that too on your PC. When it comes to the technology, the issue is what games are exclusive, will determine my purchase of that console.
Absolutely.
Like the game Last of Us. That freaking game is sick. I sit there and play that game and I go, holy crap, I love this game. I'm in a zombie movie.
You probably crap yourself too.
Freaking clickers.
Dude. No, it was the bigger, what do they call the bigger ones?
I don't even know what those things are. I forgot that.
I can't remember the name because...
I'm pretty sure they're called, I shit my pants.
Yeah, because they come over.
Here it comes. Look at that.
They come over and they literally try to rip your lower mandible off by ripping the top of your skull apart. And you're like...
Mine has many times.
You're like, fuck. There's no and bullets. You don't have enough bullets in that game.
Nah.
That's ridiculous.
Especially on survival modes. But that's a good point. I mean, like I said, as far as the specs go, and we talked about this at the end of the podcast last week. It's going to come down to what games you're going to have, what kind of experiences, gaming-wise, are they going to create that's going to make us buy these systems and want to spend hundreds of dollars to get these new systems and get these new games.
Well, you look at the Xbox 360 and PS3 when they're doing game by game, the multi-platform comparisons, it ended up being where the PlayStation it was too dark or something, so you actually had to set your PlayStation to a certain setting just to be able to compare it. And I mean, there's people out there that did thorough investigations. They see them the smallest detail. They would try to look for different differences, but it's just on paper they're different systems, but on screen you're not gonna know, especially with next gen, until way down the line when Grand Theft Auto 6 comes out.
Yeah. And it's going to come down to, too, like how much time they want to put into different, shadows and stuff like that. How much they want to really spend time with actually fine-tuning that in order to get this game launched. Because, I mean, it's well known that anybody that is developing games, most of the time they're under some sort of pressure to have, by a launch date or a release date, they have to have this game out. So, I mean, I think that's what's going to really come down to.
Yeah, one leaf is not blowing correctly, they're not going to care.
Yeah, like for a developer like Crytek, who has numerous times pretty much been spoken of as like one of the higher developers to create like these amazing graphics. They're taking that time, they're using their engine, they're developing that engine to make that game look really well.
Right.
But I mean, these consoles, the new ones, are being unpackaged. I mean, the companies are basically saying, here's our console, we have not restricted a thing.
Yeah.
Go nuts.
Mm-hmm.
That's what's going to make the difference, folks. It's the difference between developers having the freedom to develop the way they want to versus developers being handcuffed to the wall and told how to develop it.
Especially now since, PS3 and Xbox, one was a cell processor. Now they're using similar developing tools. We'll just have to wait and see.
I believe that's it. So, like I said, basically coming back to the main point here is with the RAM story that came out for the PS4, it's just going to be... we're really not going to know until the system comes out, and at the end of the day, is it really going to matter? Is it going to be something that's going to really change your perspective on what system to get or what system?
My definitive vote is no.
Yeah, it is not. I don't think so either. But again, like I said, I wanted to talk about it a little bit because it's been coming up on multiple different gaming news sites, IGN, and all those other gaming sites have been talking about this, and obviously it's drawn up some sort of debate, so I felt like I wanted to touch on it a little bit. All right, so the next thing we're going to talk about, because we said we were going to talk about it last week, so I figured we might as well spend some time with it. The Xbox and PlayStation online communities. So what we really want to do here is it's not really a bashing of either or online gaming communities, but I just want to kind of talk a little bit about what our perspectives of compared to the Xbox community and the PlayStation community. Mainly just because I think it's an interesting topic, and all of us here have had both the 360 and PS3 already. We've all played online, so I just want to discuss a little bit about the different online communities, what you think they are, and where you think they're going to be headed. So, Chris, you want to chime in with that real quick? What are your thoughts about the two different online communities for PlayStation and Xbox?
I hate racist 12-year-olds.
You gotta be more specific. Which community are we talking about?
Oh, that was the Xbox one.
Is that just in general?
Well, yeah,
is that just like a random outburst?
I
hate racist 12-year-olds.
I'm old, Chris. I have
that's a cool story, moments. Man. But
that's great,
If you want to vent about it, go talk to somebody else.
You let the kids at your house on Halloween.
So you're talking about the Xbox community. Give me some examples when you played online and stuff like that.
Well, I mean, the biggest example is just play Halo for an hour online. And
you mean outside of party chat?
Yeah,
which is rare to happen.
Yeah, do it outside of party chat and see how angry you become at these ridiculous people. You're right. Party chats is sick. And that's the one thing.
That's done away with a lot of it.
Yeah, but you know what? That's what I loved about the Xbox. Not so much the community, but the technology behind the social. What can I call it? Social media or social technology that they put into their community setup on their live, you just basically go, okay, I'm muting that little racist 12-year-old, and I'm going to turn on my friend Johnny, and we're going to have a conversation like human beings, and maybe put some tactics into Halo if that's even possible, and just,
There's no tactics in Halo.
Exactly. Well,
you pull the trigger, run, and swear, and call other kids' moms whores.
No,
whoever gets the rocket launcher first.
That's what I learned.
Whoever gets the rocket launcher first.
Yeah, that too.
Or the sword.
The sword or rocket launcher.
That's the one. I mean, I can't really say that's all. I mean, what I liked about Halo 4 potentially was the ordnance drops. I felt like that balanced it out a little bit, but you still have the power weapons along the map, so.
Mag was a drop in and play type of game sort of situation. Did you guys ever come across any racist 12-year-olds or?
Mag's not even supported anymore.
No.
The online stuff is
done. Oh, dude, Mag was sick.
It was a really good game. It's just it never picked up.
I remember playing a little bit, I guess with you, John. And we were and I had a couple other friends on there too, and it was really neat how they had a structural ladder with, your tactical. You have to be tactical, but they had like a command center, like a command hierarchy. So
yeah, you had somebody commanding the rest of the group.
I mean, that whole thing is awesome, except you're not going to command the whole group unless your whole group is on board with that idea. You know what I mean?
I liked...
We didn't join the army to play video games, or video games didn't join the army to train soldiers. We're
you're always going to have those guys that are like, oh, he wants to go here. I'm not going to do that.
Yeah. It's like,
hey, guys, where the fuck's he going?
We will tactically attack that truck, and you will spin in a circle because you're not even there.
Oh, now you're shooting at me. Oh, that's very helpful.
You're going to not move? That's what you're doing?
Okay.
You're going to sit there and just, talk on your cell phone or whatever you're doing, update your Facebook as
you want to.
Where you going, buddy? See squirrel?
Oh, I see you're teabagging the NPC you shot. Well, that's good because that's not really a player and it doesn't count. Okay, you're an idiot.
Good job, champ.
But if you were gonna give like a stereotype to the Xbox community or the PlayStation community online, what do you think are some of the stereotypes with Xbox? When you're getting on here playing, what do you think the stereotypes?
Racist 12-year-old bastards.
Racist 12-year-old bastards, everybody. That's what the community.
And everyone's mom's a whore. Everyone. As soon as you play on, they're like, certain namer tags mom likes wieners, and then you're like, wow, I just learned a fact today. Apparently I'm playing with this guy and his mom likes wieners. That's interesting.
What I liked about the PlayStation 3 network was there's a lot less of that. But you know what? It could have been, and I'm just saying this, it could be the game specific.
It could be, absolutely.
Let's talk about that. I mean, you're looking at the game Halo. As big as it is, I mean, kids' moms, mature ratings, doesn't matter. They buy their kids.
I mean, yeah.
They buy their kids anything.
The thing with Halo is it's mature, but I really feel a lot of times they're pushing for that maturity level because you're not really shooting other humans most of the time. On multiplayer, you're shooting other Spartans, but as long as you're seeing their faces or anything like that, you're pretty much shooting a robot. You know what I mean?
Right.
With something like that, I mean, the maturity level, I feel like they kind of push for that mature rating because they feel like it's going to sell more.
Yeah.
But for Halo, you're usually shooting aliens or whatever.
I think the M was just from Master Chief.
Pretty sure.
Rated M from Master Chief.
But I think the real thing is though, it's like maybe it's game specific. Maybe because Halo is so popular, these little rotten kids have all the time in the world to play Halo. Yeah. And all of us who work for a living go, all right, I'm going to sit down and play some Halo with my friends. We get in the community. We're all like real stoked that we're on the same team finally, and that we're finally getting out there. And all of a sudden, like 10, 12-year-old racist bastards come out and start swearing at you
and headshotting
underneath it. When their parents walk in, you just hear it under
somehow
their
they're curving bullets around corners.
No, I think it's not the cheat. It's not the cheating.
No, I mean it's hard to really cheat on a console game. I mean there's ways to do it, but I'm just saying in general. I just feel like
it's not that it's. I'm not even worried about the cheating part. If you're cheating, then you're a dick.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard.
I love how the little kids, the little ones, they talk shit to like grown-ups, and you try to brush it off. You're like, I don't care. Shut the fuck up. Just playing my game, goddamn. You just want to throw it down and be like, God damn it, I'm coming to your house. I'm gonna break down your goddamn door, shove that control up your ass.
And this is why John can't play Halo anymore.
or go in public places.
You're banned from that playground, right, John?
Twice.
But I also look at the fact too that you're looking, you're looking at the PlayStation Network, and I feel like there's a lot less of those games that the kids could be playing.
Yeah.
So I find the problems to be less. It might not be that the communities are skewed in that regard, like Xbox community is worse than PlayStation community. It might be that this game's community sucks compared to this game's community, and it just happens what console you're on at that time.
I mean, I know you guys do some online stuff. I know you're not as probably big into like the online multiplayer stuff as like I might be, or like when I play with my brothers and stuff like that. When we're playing online, like we play online a lot. Like we have a game we're playing it for the next couple months online. The one thing I will say, and the reason why I think there is some of a difference between the communities, because as far as like the maturity level of each of the communities, like when we started gaming, I mean, my first system was the Nintendo, the original Nintendo.
Good old NES.
Yeah, and then I got to the NES, you got Sega, you moved up to 64, PlayStation, everything else like that. PlayStation's been around for a majority of my life. I've had the PS1, and my PS2 was my dominant system going into it. So I think I don't know if it's necessarily, it might be popularity of a certain system. It's just what you're growing up with, and if in this scenario, I feel like I'm playing on my PlayStation a little bit more because it's something I've known, it's something I've grown up with, it's a system that I utilize, and I think that might be the case for a lot of people in our generation, like the age range that we're in. Mm-hmm. Where with a lot of kids today or younger guys, all their friends at school have Xbox. The original Xbox for that generation, that might have been the only system they had. And then the 360 came out. And the 360 is what they had.
Right. Remember when we used to hook up the Xboxes and we do the Halo parties?
Yeah.
We there
was no actual,
There was no internet.
It was
someone's talking shit. You can actually walk over to the next room, beat the shit out of them. Like, now what? Who's big now?
John, you're the reason why they invented live. So people didn't get hurt anymore.
They learned.
It was actually social. It wasn't like, hey John, you want to play a game tonight? All right, I'm gonna go home. You go to your house,
right?
And we're gonna play online. And we're gonna kick some serious butt.
Golly whiz! Just let me know when you're on, buddy.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's like you don't have to hang out anymore. Why do you want to hang out?
I don't
you have your Xbox at your house. Why are you gonna come to my house and play?
Right.
You know what I mean? So, but like I said, I think it has somewhat to do with like the generations. Like I said, a lot of the younger guys have had Xbox and they've only had Xbox. So, I think that will probably be their dominant system going forward.
Plus, like you said, PS3 seemed like the more... I wouldn't...
Because Xbox 360 is big now.
Yeah, it's big now. I think it was advertised, too, as, not childish, but it was more kid-friendly.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I would definitely say that with
like you look at the Super Nintendo Sega battle.
Yeah.
A lot of the maturers were running over to Sega just because it had Sonic and the other, while the other ones had like Yoshi's Story or
and I think that's
Mario.
And I think that's kind of where too, like where Nintendo has kind of dropped off because Nintendo's been around for so long that people that were like the hardcore, like Nintendo players, Super Nintendo guys, their generation is getting older.
Dude, the first console I ever bought with my own money was a 64.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, it's hard. It's really hard to pinpoint like what system's going to be more popular. Like, I feel like the people that actually go out and educate themselves and actually know what they want to get are probably going to lean more towards the PS4.
Yeah. Well, back then too, you had 8-bit. All right, sweet, 8-bit. Then it's like, oh, the next one's going to be 16-bit. Well, Jesus Christ!
Yeah.
We're going to get that. And then 32 get big. And then Nintendo 64.
64.
So it was just like a simple progression.
Yeah.
Now, like we just talked about, we got DDR5s, DDR3s, flux capacitors, and...
Yeah. The other thing I kind of want to point out, too, is I've played certain games on both systems. I played Battlefield 3 on Xbox. I played Battlefield on PS3. I mean, I'm not the best at those type of games, but I do usually do better on the PS3 version of it compared to the Xbox version of it. And I don't, and it might just be quantity of better players that are on it because Xbox, in America at least, has they're a little. They have a larger install base. Obviously, like they have more
Right.
Xboxes out there than they do PS3. But I usually do better on PS3 than I do on Xbox, and I think it's more or less because you don't have. What are those 12-year-olds, Chris?
The racist bastards.
The racist bastard
that can play
12-year-olds
games all
evidently.
day long, and
Yeah,
by the time you get
yeah.
on there, they just
They all day long.
they shoot you and hump your face.
Yeah, and they swear at you under their breath when their mom walks in with the laundry.
Yeah.
Little bastards.
What are you playing, Tommy? Nothing.
But I mean, between the two communities, I feel like, and again, this is just an opinion. This is just based on observation. I think we can all kind of agree that we feel that, the PlayStation community, I feel, is a little bit more mature. But you are going to have those racist 12-year-olds, right? Bastards.
Well,
They got to get both consoles.
You can
too.
have that on both consoles. I'm
Yeah,
just saying,
yeah.
like when I play Halo.
Yeah, I think it goes back.
So are we really talking about the system, the system communities, or are we
games.
talking about the gaming community?
Well, when I
of
did
those
when
franchises?
for PS3 we SOCOM, I was playing SOCOM,
Yeah.
and that everyone was serious. I mean, you had to push the headset just to talk or hold select, whatever the button
That game was awesome just because, like, if you were talking and you were too close to the other people, they could hear you
Yeah.
on your headset.
That
like,
shit
it
was
was awesome.
real.
Yeah, SOCOM was.
You check out your window just in case no real life guys out there.
And I feel like everybody that's probably only had an Xbox are like looking at us like, I didn't know they could do that on
What?
SOCOM. I didn't know that happened on SOCOM.
What?
What is SOCOM?
Do you have time to teabag? Will they hear it?
Yes, they will hear you not smacking the guy's forehead.
My eyes!
But yeah, I mean, like I said, I think you have that, and maybe it's not really a question of which system, the type of communities on or which communities on each system. Like I feel like the younger crowd usually goes to the Xbox, and I feel like some of the older crowd will actually migrate to the PS3 because maybe some of them aren't into as multiplayer as much as the younger crowd might be. But again, you bring up Halo, and I think that has a lot to do with it.
I think it's game specific, man.
I think the Killzone community. You're right. I think it has to do with the gaming community. Maybe we're not asking the right questions. It's probably not about either console. It's about the Halo online community compared to the Killzone online community. And I think that might be something that is a little bit better of a comparison than just generally of the two systems. But yeah, anybody final thoughts on that topic, or
Well,
we kind of covered it?
I think we should have our listeners weigh in, see what they think on the subject.
Hit us up at the comment section and tell us either that we're all batshit crazy or you're absolutely right.
Or if you think that they are all racist 12-year-old bastards.
Racist 12-year-old bastards.
Well, Chris, they might have fathers.
Racist 12-year-old bastards.
I made.
All right, so we'll leave that one up. We'll leave that up for the battle on the comment section. So, all right, let's move along here. Let's get away from the online comparison.
Get away.
What next-gen games is our little podcast looking forward to? And I'm talking next-gen, not like Grand Theft Auto, because it's not next-gen. Can't talk about that.
What about
Can't talk about Batman Arkham Origins, because it's not next-gen.
What about games that are both?
I guess.
Metal Gear?
Metal Gear?
You could talk about... Well, Metal Gear's gonna... That's just gonna be a next-gen game, isn't it? Or is it launching for both?
Alright, what about Black Flag?
I don't even know. I'm trying to figure that out. I feel like I know this, John.
I'm gonna say it's next gen.
Oh,
Because that's what's gonna be in my living room.
Because he said so.
And that's that. Long story short, the end.
Okay, so what are the next-gen titles that you guys are looking forward to?
Oh boy.
Chris, you want to start with you?
Alright, I gotta...
No PC.
Alright, well, okay.
Next-gen gaming consoles only.
Alright, fine. Dude, these games are probably going to be on PC
Everything
anyway.
comes out for PC. No, the exclusives won't be.
I am getting a next-gen console.
Okay, well,
Okay.
what next-gen console
what?
games are you looking forward to?
I am looking forward to... Actually, a bunch.
Well, there's only a handful, so.
Well, Chris, we usually do like about an hour podcast, so...
Alright.
Yeah, so, it'll take
Then I'll do publishers, I guess.
No. Talk about games that you're looking forward to for next gen.
All right,
and then we'll talk about publishers.
I'm looking forward to Assassin's Creed Black Flag.
Okay.
I'm also looking forward to...
Which you can get on both systems, just so everybody knows, the next gen and current.
I'm also looking forward to...
but there's going to be, apparently, an hour...
Keep interrupting.
You weren't done?
I got a whole list.
You get extra content for the PlayStation version. Is that where you're going with?
Yeah.
You're going to be able to play as the female
that guy
assassin from the Vita game. It's a chick. It's not a dude.
I'm looking forward to Watch Dogs.
Yeah, Watch Dogs, I kind of feel like they kind of let the cat out of the bag too early. I mean, because a lot of the hype was going on last year, and now it's kind of just, oh, Watch Dogs is coming out. Okay, we knew about this game for like 2 years, and they've been hyping it for 2 years.
To me, it looks like that's going to be a very in-depth game where you have to do everything.
Dude, that game's going to be sick. You're going to do everything.
What?
You guys just pretty much said the same exact thing, but like one of you had the negative connotation, and then Chris had the positive connotation.
Whatever.
Wow.
I know, I just blew your mind.
That's
what you get for interrupting me.
Well, it just, I wouldn't say it seems like a lot of work for a game, because he was on the phone, he had to call the guy, then hack this and hack that, and then the guy got caught in the cop. But the graphics-wise and environment-wise, everything looked fantastic, and it looked like it played excellent, but I don't know if I want to... I don't know. Like I said, we just saw whatever E3 and the other videos showed us, but, I mean, that's your big thing? I was just trying to...
What else you got, Chris?
A list.
So Assassin's Creed, Watch Dogs...
Tom Clancy's The Division.
Okay, so everything that Ubisoft is coming out with...
Not everything.
Are they paying
including Rayman Legends?
No. I mean...
This podcast has been brought to you by Ubisoft.
If only.
So, yeah, The Division, because I'm not an MMO kind of guy, but a game that I could play with all of my friends on, like, this crazy post-apocalyptic world, and it's tactical and the whole nine. It looks sick. I mean, it looks sick. I don't know jack about the game other than what they showed us at E3 and then the articles that I read. But I mean, that game for me is gonna make it right there.
Is there any exclusives that you're looking forward to on either system, Xbox One or PS4? Is there any exclusives that say, "Wow, I want this," like now?
I'm gonna throw it out there, saying no.
None, either one.
No, because I mean, Destiny's
not be exclusive though. I'm talking like if you're gonna do.
No, I know that's what I mean. I'm like,
yeah.
Destiny looks sweet. Division looks sweet. The new Elder Scrolls game that's like an MMO looks sweet. They're revamping Wolfenstein.
Yeah, that's gonna be current gen though, too, right? Or is it next gen?
I thought it was both.
I don't know.
Well, Diablo 3 is coming up for the next gen. Well,
that was an interesting move by Blizzard to go into consoles like that. But
they originally had Diablo 1 on the console.
But
before they went to PC.
I'd really like to see what it looks like because they.
I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna wait for PS4 that version to come out. I'm not gonna get it for this generation console. I'm gonna wait for them to do it on the PS4 just because I think it will be closer to the PC version as far as graphics and everything go.
Right.
Because I know there's some people when they bought up Diablo, like a lot of their PC stuff was outdated. They had to update it.
Yeah.
So I think it's gonna be closer to graphically and processing closer to the PS4 model of it.
Well, it'd be plus just exciting to have.
Yeah.
You know, why would you want the older version when you can get the awesome version?
Yeah, exactly. Who wants Windows 7 over Windows 8? Oh, wait. Everybody.
I saw what you did there.
Everybody in the world. Even Microsoft, because they had those crazy PCs at E3.
Oh, you mean the Xboxes?
You see what I did there? I'm bringing our original podcast back. The first episode. So now they have to go back and they have to go and listen to the first podcast to understand what we're talking about on this podcast.
Check out episode 1!
Alright, John. So Chris has no interest in any of the exclusives that are coming out. Mostly just the games that are going to be on all, either this gen and next gen, or both generation consoles. So what are some of the games you're looking forward to? And do you have any exclusives that you're looking forward to on any of the systems?
Right now, I'm definitely very excited for Metal Gear V or 5, even though they keep saying the V is for victory.
Yeah, they really screwed that up.
Yeah.
Usually it was actually like the numerical number, and now they have like the Roman numeral. They're just going messing with the whole goddamn system.
I don't know. They're crazy.
The world is crashing down around them.
Well, the V stands for victory because they want to take over. They want to have it worldwide exclusive instead of just having popular over here, popular in Japan.
Gotcha, that makes sense.
No.
Oh.
It still doesn't make any sense.
Let's just call it Metal Gear Solid 5.
Alright, so you got Metal Gear Solid. What else you got?
The Division looks really sweet.
Yeah, I gotta see more of that. See, I watched the E3 of that, and I was like, oh yeah, that's really cool. You know, it looks kind of like a soft game, Tom Clancy game. So.
Well, we're gonna play, right?
Yeah, well, we're gonna play. I'm just not. It's not my.
You're gonna get it.
It's not. Yeah, I'm gonna get it. Like, don't get me wrong.
And we're all gonna
I swear
play.
to God, I will be beside you,
And
fighting off whatever you fight off in Division.
Other players and NPC.
Yeah, them.
Stuff.
Yeah, I will be beside you fighting against them. But I'm just saying, it's not my oh my god, I cannot wait for this game to come out type of title. Because it looks very much like a lot of other Tom Clancy games. But now you have the online element, it's going to be something interesting. I want Rainbow Six more than anything else compared to Division.
Yes.
But anyway, we're talking about you, John, and your titles. What titles are you looking forward to? I'm sorry,
very
coming back to
popular.
you. See, Chris, he's so rude. He's talking about what he
Look
wants
what
to
you
get.
did, you little jerk.
Payback's a bitch.
Chris, you ruined
Go
Christmas.
ahead. Go ahead, John. Tell us more.
Well, Destiny that also looks awesome for the same multiplayer type reasons. You can just drop in and shoot some alien stuff and be like, wow, this looks like Halo, and then
That game is going to consume my life when it comes out. I have a feeling.
Oh, I forgot to mention Battlefield.
Well, too bad. We're all
too bad, Chris. Maybe you don't get Battlefield. Maybe you can't have it no more.
All right, I'm
too busy talking about Division.
Yeah, all about you over here in the corner, old Chris.
I'm going to agree with you when you say Battlefield.
Okay, so John, you looking forward to Battlefield?
Hell yeah! Are you kidding? Did you see the video?
I saw
the freaking building came down. People had to run, to jump down, to parachuting and shit. That was awesome.
Yeah, I still don't see how
Even Stevie Wonder was excited.
If Call of Duty Ghost outsells Battlefield, like in the long run, I just don't know what's happening to the gaming community. I just don't understand it. I just don't get it.
Well,
I mean, we can do
the fact that 64 players can be on the server now.
Yep.
Hello.
On next gen only, just to add.
Yes.
Next gen only.
So
That's why.
So if you're on the fence, go next gen if you can afford it. If your parents can afford it. If you have a rich uncle or grandparents.
There's no reason to buy Battlefield 4 on Xbox 360 or PS3 because you're just doing yourself a disfavor.
Yes, you'll be sad. You'll be the sad kid.
You should really get a next gen console.
If you get Battlefield 4 for Xbox 360 or PS3 for Christmas, you just got a lump of coal, my friend.
Yeah.
Or you went full retail.
All right. Well, look, everybody can enjoy the game. We're not saying that you guys are damned.
Well, I'm saying.
It. All right. Well, John's saying.
I will find you.
What
friend the audience.
what other games, John, are you going and picking up day one when these next gen games show up?
I mean, exclusive wise, I really don't see anything I'm looking forward to. Killzone looks to me looks all right. And for Xbox One, I mean, what is launching with Xbox One?
Nothing good. But I can elaborate on that by saying you have Dead Rising 3. Okay? That's supposed to be a launch title. You have Rise, which I need to see more of to even get excited about that.
You mean like the hack and slash thing?
I feel like it's going to be extremely repetitive, and I don't feel like it's going to be anything surprising.
It's going to be Roman hack and slash.
Yeah, it's going to be God of War, but without Kratos.
It's going to be 300.
Well, Dead Rising, I remember when that came out. That was a fun game.
I heard like a lot of people seem pretty excited about Dead Rising. That's the one game that people really seem to be kind of on board with.
As a launch title, I think that's really awesome. It looks fun.
And then you have Forza coming out for the Xbox One. There is a giant community out there that is excited for these racing games. I'm just not one of those. So anybody's listening to this podcast and expecting me to get excited about a racing game, I don't think it's ever going to happen. I will try and expand my horizon a little bit, but I just feel like I don't buy a system so I could pretend to race cars.
Come on, man. You want to get the crew.
I don't want to get the crew either.
The crew needs you.
The crew needs you.
Crew, man.
Either way, you're not going to have any shortage of choices to make for racing games.
You need to drive your Ford
Mustang.
Mustang.
Almost every publisher will have a racing game. So, but those are the titles and a lot of people are probably thinking, oh, well, what about Kinect Sports Rivals? Kinect Sports Rivals, in a recent story that came out, is actually being delayed, I think, into spring because it's not ready, which concerns me because that's supposed to be a launch title that's utilizing the Kinect. Why is it being delayed? And I don't feel like it's any bigger of a project than what Dead Rising is, or Rise is, or even Forza for that matter for Kinetic Rivals.
Are you touching upon more things we could talk about next podcast?
I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, I like to keep it fresh, Chris. You know, I like to change things up. I like, throw a little jabs in. A little surprise.
Set the tone.
All right, CJ, what about you? What are you excited for? Killzone?
Like I said, all right, yeah. I mean, if you're gonna talk about exclusives, the main reason why I feel like the PS4 is a system to buy probably this holiday or the Xbox One is because of the exclusives. Just because the exclusives that they have out already, like Infamous is coming out later in the year, but it's still coming out. It's a game that's going to be out first quarter of the next fiscal year. But that has a fan base. Infamous 1 was out, Infamous 2 was out, it did well, that's why they made another game. Killzone has a fan base. They have an online multiplayer community. It's a game that already has a fan base going into it, so I feel like people that are buying this next gen system, if they know those games, they're going to kind of move towards that system more because they know the games, they know the developers, they know what to expect. Right. With something like Rise or Dead Rising, I mean, Dead Rising, like I said, there's a fan base for it.
Yeah.
It's not a new IP, so that might be the main thing for people that are buying the Xbox One to kind of go towards, if they're just one giant Dead Rising fan. But I feel like for me, I'm definitely excited for Infamous Second Son. I'm going to be playing that game when that comes out. I'm going to be playing Killzone when that comes out. I'm really excited for that because I really like the multiplayer on Killzone. I don't know how much they changed about it from Killzone 3, but I really like the game. I like the game mechanics and the multiplayer and everything else like that. It is, but hands down, one of my favorite multiplayers to actually play, competitively. Mm-hmm. But as far as like the other games that are coming out,
what about The Order 1880?
I need to see more. I mean, I can't say good for Ready at Dawn for creating this game, but I'm not willing to go and put like a pre-order down for anything because I haven't seen any gameplay.
I thought when I first saw that teaser in the beginning, I thought that was going to be Time Splitters 4 or something. Yeah. I didn't know. It just looked like it could be Time Splitters 4.
Like, it looks like it's going to be really cool, but until I see more, I'm not going to get too excited for it.
Yeah, well, that's true.
It didn't, pique my interest.
Right.
So I'm going to wait to see what they kind of show with it, what the gameplay is going to be like, and kind of just hold off and wait for my excitement on that game. Because I don't think it's going to be coming out anytime soon. Mm-hmm. If they only have, a CG trailer, I don't think it's going to be coming out anytime soon.
I think Battlefront 3 got more.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. It's, again, who knows how long that's going to take?
That is a game I'm excited for.
Yeah, hopefully it doesn't screw it up. They better not screw it up.
I don't know.
I don't know if they can, but they better not screw it up.
We've waited so long.
I know.
So long.
Yeah, Battlefront, I mean, Star Wars Battlefront, I'm definitely excited for it. But, it's like, how long are these games going to be out for? Like, the ones I'm excited for that I know are probably coming out, end of this year, early next year.
Right.
Maybe going into summer. That would definitely be Killzone. It would be Infamous. Destiny, definitely. Like I said, I really think that's going to consume a lot of my game playing once that game comes out. Mm-hmm. I really do. Battlefield, I'm definitely excited for. I'm excited for Assassin's Creed. And that's saying a lot for me because I hated the third one. Yeah. Absolutely hated the third one. A lot of
people did.
I forced myself through that game simply just to finish the storyline. I really could care less about Connor or any of the other characters. Yeah. I played it just to beat it, and that was it. But I'm excited for the fourth one. They brought some people from the Far Cry team to help out with the fourth one, so I'm excited to see what they're going to do, because Far Cry 3 was a great game. Mm-hmm. But yeah, so kind of just wrap up here, kind of finish it off. Which publishers are really going to shine this generation? Publishers meaning 2K, Ubisoft, Activision, Bethesda. What if you're gonna pick one publisher?
Well, I think it depends on which games stay on time with development. But I believe that Ubisoft is going to be right up there at the top because of not only games that are coming out for both systems, like the next gen systems and ones now, but the ones that are looking really good for the next gen, like The Division from Tom Clancy. You're looking at games that are going to be many hours spent, meaning much DLC to download. But I mean, I can't say enough good things about Bethesda because Bethesda makes beautiful games. They make games like I have never seen. They make amazing games, and Ubisoft, I think, for me, is like, I always thought of them as they're the Assassin's Creed group, because that's what I purchased from them in the past. And then they're also the, Rainbow Six group, and they're, the Tom Clancy genre, things like that. So I'm like, man, the Watch Dogs are coming out. They got Splinter Cell Blacklist for these guys. The Division. They have, they also have the new Rocksmith 2014 edition with a lot of the guys learning how to play guitar with a console. It's crazy. So it's out of the box thinking. It's really good. And just to throw it out there, they also made Far Cry 3, so they already got to step up. So they're a good company. What will make Bethesda outshine them is if Wolfenstein is a huge success.
Don't think it's going to be
a blockbuster. I don't either.
Don't think so.
Every Wolfenstein game I played, besides the first one on my MS DOS computer, was kind of shady, and I didn't really like it that much. But the MMO that's coming out for the Skyrim and the Elder Scrolls universe, I'm hoping it's more Elder Scrolls than, let's say, these MMOs that are playing now, like World of Warcraft.
Who keeps losing subscribers?
Yeah, that one's dying.
Well, and that's what I mean. It's like, I hope it's more Elder Scrolls than World of Warcraft. Because if it's more Elder Scrolls than that, I believe it's going to be successful.
I think that's what the idea of it is. I don't think you're going to see something that's going to be similar to World of Warcraft or anything like that. I think you're going to see it more like Skyrim.
Yeah, that will put them right up there too. But if I had to pick one, right now it's Ubisoft because of the amount of titles that are coming out for next gen.
See, that's the problem with Ubisoft. I feel like they have so many titles, and there's a few gems within, so many games that they actually put out.
But those gems are shiny.
Like Far Cry 3, great game. Nobody expected it to be this awesome game. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Far Cry 1 and 2 were bad.
Well, yeah, I played the first one. I was like, wow. Woohoo.
Yeah, no, but 3 did it.
Eject.
3 was like, yes, I want this game. I'm going to savor it like a fine wine. I'm going to do everything. Every bear that passes by, consider yourself dead.
Tasty.
All right, so John, publishers.
I might have to go with Ubisoft because you look at what they're gonna come out with, and I'm sure eventually there'll be a Rainbow Six in there somewhere.
Can't wait for that one either.
Yeah.
All right, so Ubisoft, final answer. I am going to go against the majority and say I think that 2K is going to be the up-and-coming publisher that's just going to keep having these great hit type of games.
Grand Theft Auto 6,
real
life.
I mean, Rockstar is...
real life.
Rockstar is part of 2K. Grand Theft Auto is probably going to be the biggest selling game coming out this holiday, hands down.
It's every game in one.
It's still selling Grand Theft Auto 4 to this day. New copies are still being sold to Grand Theft Auto 4. It's crazy to think about. But
you see all the mods that come out for the
PC version.
Yeah.
So I think that's really going to help them. Borderlands 2, so I think they're up to 7 million copies already sold for Borderlands 2.
Well, still got DLC.
Well, to 2K's benefit, that game is sick. That game
that's what I'm saying.
That's an epic game. Made me think about each of these companies are going to have gems. Yeah. Right? It's just how many of these gems will they have?
I don't know, man. If they keep the formula of Borderlands, it doesn't matter. If they keep the formula...
Dude, next gen Borderlands is going to be cool.
It'll get old. People will grow out of it.
No, Chris. No, they won't.
It has to evolve.
Because you cannot get enough loot, okay? That's what I'm going to say.
The bottom line is...
There's a new gun almost every time you open a box. Because it's bazillion infinite gun engine that they have.
You can never have
enough. It's the gift that keeps giving, Chris.
You can never have enough gun. Yeah, I understand.
So and there's always...
If you're looking for a game to buy Borderlands.
And there's always more Wub Wub.
More Wub Wub.
There's always more Wub Wub. But also with Borderlands, BioShock had, I think, one of the bigger releases. BioShock's selling really well. A lot of people, it's been very well received. A lot of people were excited when that game came out. I think
it was very well given as well.
Yeah, it was an awesome game. I love that game too. But and then you gotta look at even the sports games. NBA 2K13, huge game, always sells really well.
Yeah.
So I think they're gonna really have a lot of success because They seem to really not be afraid to throw money at games that they know are going to be good.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's the main case. So I think, 2K is going to be... I think 2K will eventually be up there with, like, the Activision and the Ubisofts and the EAs.
No, I agree 100%. Just depends on when they get the games out.
Yeah. They're very selective, too. They don't usually... I mean, you're going to have... Any publisher is going to have those crap games that come out, but usually they're pretty good. I mean, everything they came out with recently, they fully supported has been good. I mean, I can't really think of anything that's been bad or not well received. Recently, anyway. I mean, I'm not going to go back in history and figure it out, but...
Bring out the books, dust them off.
Yep. But that's pretty much the show, unless anybody wants to have any kind of closing comments.
Closing comments. Don't take candy from strangers.
That's not a comment, that's a life lesson.
Oh, that was a comment.
That was a comment.
Cool.
We're done here.
Until next time, folks.
All right, well, that's our show for today, July 31st. That's going to conclude our episode 2 of Time2Game. If you guys want to follow us on Twitter and Facebook, John, tell them how they can follow us on Twitter and Facebook, would you?
You can find us on Facebook at Time2 with a TWO game. And we also have a page, like our page, please, Time2Game Podcast. And you can also shoot us a tweet if you would like at T2Game. And remember to subscribe if you like us and comment down below. Let us know what our mistakes are, what we could possibly improve, or just throw us happy faces.
Happy faces are preferred.
Happy faces are preferred. And we also have a Tumblr if you want to stop by there at time2game.tumblr.com. Thanks a lot for tuning in, and we'll catch you next time.